Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go. And we're here.
And we're here. Still not queer.
Yeah, I fucking hope not.
We're going to get banned for that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Do you know that queer actually means abnormal, not anything?
Little
dealing with
cockeyed.
Little cockeyed, yeah.
Little cockeyed.
But
Bastards.
just like everything else that's been co-opted and turned into something else, and now the definition gets you in trouble for trying to use
Very
it as
skewed.
the normal definition.
I wonder if we'd go a whole episode talking like this.
I can't.
Oh, shice bastard.
Are you fucking Irish now?
Yeah, I switched it up right there. Oh, fuck.
Well, welcome to Main Event Mondays. You can hear
Mondays.
us joking around being freaking ridiculous.
Fucking
Stupid.
Mondays.
Oh, wait, hold on. Were we going to go live? I thought we were going to do part of this live and then the back end, they'd have to catch in.
I don't think we set up for that, do we?
No.
All right,
Do we want to stop and...
No, let's just go.
Okay, perfect. Maybe we can do a different one. Maybe
Yeah.
next week we can do a live.
Anyways, how was your guys' week?
Yeah. A lot of fun, interesting stuff happens, right?
Lots of stuff happened this week.
Yeah. So let's start with the big one in the room, which I'm extremely happy about, which is McCarthy is out. He is no longer the Speaker of the House.
And Donald Trump was nominated.
I could care less about that, but I do think it's interesting.
It's disconnected.
Whoever's controlling the simulation is definitely writing a story worthy of us having a good time. You know
It's
what
a
I mean?
page turner, yeah.
I mean, it's just one thing after another where it's just like whoever's writing this is trying to keep us entertained.
Well, they're doing a damn good job, man, on the edge of our seats and shit.
Yeah, so McCarthy's out. Matt Gaetz' proposal went well. And all the Democrats, I guess unsurprisingly because they don't like McCarthy,
Yeah.
but all the Democrats voted to remove him, and then along with 8 Republicans led by Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz did a wonderful job. I totally support his movement on this just because McCarthy failed.
He was compromised, man.
Well, yeah, he failed to do what part of the whole thing that he did in order to get the speakership was to guarantee that the 12 appropriations would actually get debated on the floor and then single bill rather than these continuing resolutions. Yeah. Now, I didn't know this. I actually listened to Matt Gaetz on Tim Pool's show.
Okay.
And he was actually going over this before even McCarthy got put in to get removed. It was like 40 years, I guess, that we've been just basically doing these CRs, these continuing resolutions. So basically, they passed a bill at one point, and they just said, "Oh, we'll just keep continuing to fund it at these levels plus the percentage increase or whatever."
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it does. I mean, it explains why we are such in debt right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes sense for their benefit, but like, as somebody on the other side of end of that spectrum, it's like,
as a tax-paying citizen,
yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
so our taxpayer money, all of our money that's going to the federal government is just basically not even getting talked about. It's just getting sent. It's just doing whatever.
They're wiping their ass with it and sending it overseas.
So, Gaetz, I was a huge proponent of Gaetz wanting to do these 12 bills independently, so that way each one can get scrutinized, right? So that way VA benefits can be scrutinized separately of funding for frickin' gender studies in Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a huge proponent of it. McCarthy failed. I think Gaetz did the right thing. And then our representative,
Mr. Idaho,
Mr. Mike Simpson.
Run it, dude. I got to hear this.
He's a rhino. He went ahead and basically voted to keep McCarthy in. So he basically, with that vote, indicated that, hey, the taxpayers, the people that are actually paying for things in Idaho, they mean nothing to me. I want to be a part of the machine and steal their money.
You got all that from that little letter?
I didn't get any shit. So, you're going to go ahead, bring it up. Since I was heated on this one, so go ahead.
Yeah, he was pissed, man. So my friend over here decides to, what was it, on Twitter or X or where? How did you respond to him? I don't remember.
I did it on Instagram.
Okay, so he wrote this. What is it, Mike Simpson?
Yeah,
our representative of Idaho, and he wrote him a response into something that he said on Instagram. I get a call in the middle of the day, and he's like, "Did you know what?" And he's like, I wrote him. Okay, man. And he sent just some.
I also sent an email.
Yeah, he sent an email as well, and he just gave back a generalized
and X.
response.
I also did it on X as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you did it on X. But he completely, I don't know if he just completely ignored you in that sense. Like, he's like, holy crap, man, he got me on 3 different sides. Hit me with a 3-piece. But he hasn't dignified a valid response yet.
I'm trying to pull it up real quick for you guys, real quick. So
let's
see. Where did
notifications?
Is it notifications?
Well, did he respond to it on Instagram?
No. But I'm just trying to see what I posted. I can't even remember what I posted because I linked to his. Hold on. Where's the one back? Right here.
Oh, yeah. Here's the letter. Here's the email.
So the letter back that I got, I can't remember. I wish I would have. I should have screenshotted what I wrote him because it was pretty good.
Yeah, you should have.
And I didn't. But then I got an automated response, and then I forwarded it to our email so you could see it. And it says, "Thank you for visiting my website to share your views about issues facing our nation. I appreciate hearing from you and having the opportunity to respond. Not only do I carefully consider the content of each letter or email that I receive from Idahoans, I believe it is important to respond to each one in a timely manner. Because of the complex nature of the issues and the volume of mail that I receive, please allow 2 to 3 weeks to receive a written response via email or postal mail. Our representative democracy only works when citizens are willing to be involved in their government. Hearing from you about how legislation under consideration impacts you enables me to better represent you in the United States Congress."
So in other words,
Mike Simpson, member of
he
Congress.
says 2 to 3 weeks, so we'll keep you guys updated if we get an actual response. But he's not gonna. He's gonna have one of his interns or somebody respond to you. He's not gonna do it himself.
Yeah.
At least I don't see it happening.
So interestingly enough, we got a few likes on this.
Here we go.
So his message was basically a post on Instagram saying the stopgap funding measure will allow Congress to continue to work approving appropriations bills that secure the border, reduce government spending, and hold the Biden administration accountable for their failed policies. Government shutdowns are never a good way to govern, and members of Congress should not use them as a negotiation tactic. I take which I disagree with wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Government shutdown should be used as a negotiation policy to get people to the table to actually hammer out the deal.
I was going to say, get your point across.
You need compromises.
Yeah.
And if you're unwilling to hold up the government to get yours compromised, why the hell are we even having you in our office?
Right.
So he continues on. He says, "I take my responsibility to Idahoans to promote responsible government spending seriously." If that was true, sir, if that was true, you would be debating the 12 appropriation bills rather than doing a continuing resolution following that pile of crap McCarthy to continue stealing money from the American citizens and giving it out worldwide.
Amen, Reverend.
Sorry, went off on a little bit of a tangent.
No, man, go for it. I love it when you get like this. Turns me on.
So he continues on, "But we cannot accomplish that goal if the federal government is shut down." That's not true. Again, you shutting down the fucking federal government has nothing to do with you shutting down Congress. Like, they're not. Oh, you're an idiot. This temporary stopgap measure will allow the House to continue our important work enacting bills that get our economy on a sustainable, healthy path for the future. Again, not true. The government shutdown would have not affected you guys in any way, shape, or form.
Mr. Simpson, he's calling you a liar.
I am, because he's an idiot.
Dun, dun, dun.
I thought you were going to be good for us, but this is just plain simple that you failed Idaho, buddy. You don't even have the pulse on what's
going on. This is why people don't like they don't believe in their votes anymore. Because these guys will say whatever the hell they want, and then they'll get into power or office or whatever, and then they'll just do whatever the hell they want.
Victory. Excellent.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, that was a good one, buddy.
Hey, I have my little moments here and there.
So, 82% of Congress is viewed unfavorably. Or 82%, not 82%.
Is it up to 80 now?
82% of Americans view Congress unfavorably.
Damn.
And it's because of people like Mike Simpson. This is absolutely trash. You're a horrible representative. I have talked to probably close to 200 people this last week after all this stuff came out.
Yeah.
And only two out of 200. So that's 1%.
Well, I was going to say 1%.
Agree with Mike Simpson.
I just don't see how that's valid, man.
So you're representing Idaho. My 1%. My sample size is very small, right? Don't get it twisted. It's not like it's the end all be all. but it's a fair enough.
I mean, 200 people is a pretty good amount.
1% of Idahoan actually back what you're doing right here, Mike Simpson. You failed us. You failed in your job.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I responded, my post back to it is, what does it say?
Oh, you got a reply.
Did I?
It says, oh, one like. Excuse me. Sorry,
yeah.
my bad. Got your hopes up.
I did. Oh, so stopgap measure. Why didn't you work on debating the 12 appropriations over the summer? That is your job. Instead, you kick the can and continue allowing unchecked spending. Don't take credit for preventing something that you and the irresponsible Congress created in the first place. So, yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. Stupid. I'm gonna give that a like too.
Yeah, you might as well like your own shit.
Yeah, might as well. And then look at the comments. So Congressman Mike Simpson, today I voted in favor of a short-term funding measure to keep our government open and working on behalf of the American people. Right. My comment that I did under.
Oh, you were the first comment. Holy cow.
I don't think I was actually.
Oh.
It was just the top. Next one. No real Republican politicians representing Idaho. Yep, facts.
Damn.
You betrayed the people of Idaho again, right?
Good job, everybody.
Thank you for doing your part to prevent a government shutdown. Okay, so there's
one.
There's 66% in favor. We are sick of debt. Stop passing junk. Oh, so it's
strike.
down to 25%. Time for a new Idaho politicians.
Damn.
Oh, down to 20%. Why can't you and the people just pass the bill and quit kicking the can down the road?
Oh.
Bam! Look at this, dude. 1 out of 6 supported your favor. And that's just a quick sample size.
Yeah.
Quick sample size on freaking Instagram. You're absolutely trash, buddy. Trash.
Mr. Simpson. Debate him.
Well,
I would love to see that, dude.
What did I say? What did I say when I was on the phone with you?
Oh, I don't remember. You were pissed.
I was pissed. I said this has gotten to the point where I'm almost wanting to run for freaking.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did.
I said I wanted to run just to kick this piece of shit out of Congress.
I told you do it.
I'm not even a freaking Republican.
I know you're not.
And I have more Republican values than he does.
Well, I mean, your values. I like your values. They're almost the same as mine, but you know what I mean. They're pretty cut and fucking dry. Yeah, I gotta quit cussing. Cut and dry.
Well, this one's a little heated, right? So we talked about the McCarthy thing.
Yep.
Good thing he's out of office. He's not seeking re-election for the House speakership.
He's an idiot, man. I thought he was going to be good when he came into office. I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like I had heard good things about him, but I didn't know much about him to begin with. And then as things started going, I was like, oh man, he's a piece of shit.
So I thought he was a piece of shit, and I was actually very thankful of like Gates and Boebert and stuff like that for actually holding up his speakership.
Oh yeah,
election.
and was it Green?
Just because I'm a firm believer in I don't want the government doing anything. So if we can't elect a speaker and you guys can't get anything done, perfect. You're not affecting me in any way, shape, or form. You're actually making my life better because
by staying the hell out of it.
Exactly. I don't need government in my life. I want government out of my life.
Isn't that what Reagan said?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that was Reagan. I think a few people have said stuff like that.
Yeah.
Reagan. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your steam right there.
No, you're fine. So I'm happy with this going on. Trump is going to get the nomination. Supposedly he said that he would take it.
Yeah, he did. Okay, hang on. Sorry to cut you off. Who do you actually? Because you know way more about this than I do. I know the gist of it, but who do you see as a better fit in that position?
Surprisingly enough, I think Jim Jordan actually is. If he gets. Okay,
I like Jim Jordan.
I need to preface this. I want a person in positions of power that doesn't want the position of power. Right?
Okay.
So if you are lobbying to take the position of power because you want that power, you're going to be a failure.
You have a motive.
You have a motive. If you don't want that power but are being asked to take it because people around you believe that you can handle it, that is a much better situation for me. Right?
Fair.
So that's why I think Jim Jordan actually would be a decent choice.
I honestly think anything that Jim Jordan does in our government, he's going to be really good at. He just seems like that type of guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So that's one reason I liked Gates and what Gates did, because he didn't do it. He doesn't want speakership. He doesn't want to be the speaker. He actually just wants to hold that office accountable.
Fair.
Perfect. Great. I'll give you a freaking golf clap on that one. If he was to try getting to speakership now, I'd be pissed at him. Yeah. Right? Because now you're
showing your motive.
Exactly, right. And I don't want that. But Jim Jordan seems to be the guy that I think would actually take it, because he seems reasonable. I mean, Jim Jordan did support McCarthy.
He did. I remember that.
That's kind of a check mark against him, but I understand the reasons why went with McCarthy, and that is because Jim Jordan's main goal is trying to uncover and get rid of the corruption in the judicial system right now.
Oh, he's doing a good job.
He's doing a decent job. That's why I don't really hold it against him, because he's not he's not doing what Simpson here is doing, saying like, oh, I'm going to pat myself on the back for preventing a government shutdown that I created because I failed to do my job, right? He's actually doing his job on the ones that he's really passionate about, which is trying to make sure that we understand what's going on with the basically coup against Trump. Since the FBI since 2015 investigating him, hamstringing his first
presidency.
His first 4 years. So there's that. Again, that kind of goes right, but you know me well enough to know where I'm all heated against Mike Simpson for voting for McCarthy, and I'm not heated against Jim Jordan. But that's because I look at the nuances of things, right?
You do.
That's one reason why I don't mind most Democrats too. Like, I shouldn't say mind most Democrats. Why I don't mind some of the Democrats too, because there are nuances in why I understand what they're trying.
There's
to do.
good and bad on both sides of the aisle. Just seems like there's a lot more bad these days on both sides.
It's the uniparty. It's the establishment that's the issue.
One bird, two wings, man.
Yeah. So we have this faction of MAGA. I don't even know why. So did you hear about the FBI labeling MAGA as a terrorist threat, domestic terrorist threat?
I'm sure I'm on the list.
Well, I'm sure I'm on the list, even though I'm not a MAGA Republican.
Yeah?
I'm sure I'm on the list just because I understand their reasoning, and I don't think they're wrong on some things.
No.
So just because it goes back to...
So are we racist now, too?
I know you're not racist. I know I'm not racist, but according to everyone else, I guarantee we probably are, right? Because we actually have a mind and we don't follow the cult.
This next, if we make it to an election, it's going to be interesting.
We'll make it to the election. I just don't know what's going to happen after.
Which kind of leads into some of the other stuff we were talking about before we started this.
Well, that's the other thing is, you know what? You might have a point. Are we even going to make it to the election? I mean, look at what they're doing to Trump. I mean, an activist judge in New York City valued Mar-a-Lago.
Did you see that video?
18 million.
Did you see the video of that judge?
Oh.
Once he saw the camera? Like, come on, dog.
Like, yeah, I mean,
like, I thought there wasn't supposed to be cameras in the courtroom.
I think the judge allowed cameras up
to
until
make
the
a
point. Up to a point, and then after actually, or when opening statements started, they cut
them out.
But yeah, this is what that judge is doing is criminal.
Yeah,
it's
biased.
Well, how is a judge going to say that a bank that brought in a third-party appraiser and appraised it for 200 or 400 million or whatever the heck the appraisal was wrong, and that his evaluation at 18 million is right? When you can go on Zillow, I mean, we should almost pull up Zillow and start looking at property in Palm Beach,
in that area,
and actually show that the square foot or the acre, 1 acre alone is worth almost as much or more than
what they said, right?
Yeah. And then on top of that, he's got the business, right? But they're setting it up to basically say that any document that Trump said Mar-a-Lago is worth X amount, oh, that's fraud. You committed fraud. They're trying to set him up. They're trying to take away his political power. They're trying to take away his financing. They're doing everything they can to destroy this guy, which is the reason why I'm so pissed about it is, do I think Trump is like the end-all, be-all? I'm going to support him till the ends of the earth? No. I mean, how many times have I said this? I think Vivek Ramaswamy is actually a better choice.
Yeah, you have said that several times.
There are multiple things that are better than Trump. But at the same time, if I am given an option between Biden and Trump, hands down, Trump is the better candidate.
Yeah, I mean, and you always articulate your reasoning and everything like that. I don't disagree with you on a couple things. Like, I think Trump has a big mouth, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I like how he got shit done. He always kept his word for the most part, unless the Democrats were kind of getting in his way and stopping him at doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Through legislation or some stupid case.
I think you also need to quantify or qualify that as it's not only the the Democrats that were getting in his way. It was actually the freaking Republican establishment that was getting in his way as well.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the Liberty Project was plain and simple playing.
Ooh, that's a good point. Right? That's a good point.
He had a Republican Senate and a Republican House at the first 2 years of his presidency, and he couldn't get anything done. No. And the reasoning why is because establishment Republicans are basically slower Democrats, right? Democrats are wanting change.
Yeah.
And they're going at 100 miles an hour. But the establishment Republicans, they're just slower. They're at 95 miles an hour.
Fair.
Right? So I think that's the best way to view it.
And here's your crayons.
And then you have the oddballs like Matt Gaetz or Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? They're a little bit out there, a little bit random, but for the most part of what they're doing, they actually are interfering with the establishment, and that's what I like. They don't. They don't have everything I like.
They definitely cause some waves.
Yeah. So, where I was going with this is they're basically punishing Trump, and then with the FBI now labeling all of his supporters as potential terrorists, and they're going to do whatever they can to I mean, all this is basically election interference from the government.
It really is.
I mean, it's nuts. But it makes sense because you were just talking to me about Michigan.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and break down what's going on in Michigan?
All right, let me pull up the article. Hang on, I got it up here on my phone.
Sorry, we should have been a little bit more prepared.
Well, we were in a hurry today. We spent so much time trying to set up this new audio.
Yep.
There it is. Now, this is on Fox News. It says Michigan House passes bill that could make using wrong pronouns a felony, finable up to $10,000.
Yep. So, if you believe in Donald Trump and putting America first, you are a mega extremist on the terrorist watch list or whatever the hell they're going to do it. Now, if you don't agree and use the right wording, you are going to get fined and we're going to take away your livelihood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything that this is going on is just continuing down a road where you are not allowed to have your own thoughts, be able to express yourself however you want to. No. The government is saying you must comply.
Yeah, and that brings up this thing I saw the other day. There's this new what's his D'Souza? What's his name?
D'Souza.
D'Souza, yeah. He's coming out with a new movie or something. It's called Police State.
Oh, okay.
And it literally
Dinesh
talking
D'Souza.
about Dinesh. Thank you.
Sorry,
Mr. Dinesh the Finesse. That's he came out with this movie, and I saw the preview the other day, and it just made me open my eyes, and it's like, dude, that's really what's going to happen to this country soon if we don't do something about it. I mean, it's already happening. Don't get me wrong, but it's like,
it is happening. But one thing that we got to keep in mind is the culture war. The metrics on the culture war have been showing support that people do not like this. The government is going a little bit too far, but government is downstream of culture, right? Mm-hmm. Politics is downstream of culture.
Yeah.
Right. So if the culture is starting to shift, in about 4 years, we'll see the political landscape shifting back to hopefully, right? The problem is can we last as long as where we're at?
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I keep telling you every time or almost every time we talk about something like this. It's like, dude, I don't see us making it to the end of the election. You know what I mean? I don't see us before something happens, a war or, you know what I mean? Because the Democrats just got us into another one. You know, and it's just crazy to think that
hold on. Let's clarify that.
Oh, sorry.
We're not in that war, but
we're not in the war yet.
That will be the next one we get onto real quick, guys. Just bear with us a minute.
Yeah, give us a second.
Sorry.
But I just don't see us. Yeah. The current events that are going and the trajectory that I foresee is just we're not going to end up in a good spot. I think is what I was trying to say a minute ago.
Yeah,
I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. You're basically saying you don't see how we're going to make it to the election with everything that's going on. How do we actually get there in one piece?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
So I'm picking up what you're putting down.
For the most part.
Yeah, I get it. Since you brought it up, let's go ahead and move into the next topic here. This one actually. So first, I'm going to preface it with.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's been loss of life and a lot of people injured by a heinous attack in Israel.
Yeah.
Hearts go out. I'm a proponent. I thought Trump did a really wonderful job moving the embassy over to Jerusalem. To Jerusalem. And I think Israel is a very valuable ally in the Middle East. And I thought the Abraham Accords were doing wonderful things to bring stability in the Middle East. So that's all I'm going to preface it. Go ahead and continue.
They weren't doing bad. That's for damn sure. When was it? Last week, or I forget the exact time. But Joe Biden released the funds to Iran.
The Iran nuclear deal.
Yeah, the Iran nuclear deal. And sure as shit, dude, as soon as they got that money, look what happened. Next thing you know.
Yom Kippur, right? That's the holiday that's going. That was
the holiday.
Happened, right? But it was also 50 years from the last Yom Kippur invasion, right? So.
I mean, the timing's just kind of coincidental to me, and I don't see why he released those funds. So, okay, so when I said I blame, I put that on the Democrats, I mean, technically, they released the funds.
Yeah, and everyone knows that Iran is supporting Hamas.
Exactly, and that's who, I guess, did the actual attack was the Hamas.
Hamas is actually taking credit for it and everything, and as far as I know, they're actually still on Israel soil.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't believe they've been fully.
Dude, I saw videos. They were like dropping in and like.
Yeah, I heard they were paragliding.
Yeah, dude, they were straight dropping in, coming in.
Very well organized attack.
Yeah, dude, it was definitely planned, and I feel sorry for those people right now.
Yeah,
like there's no reason for any of this. If those funds would have just not, well, I can't say that because you never know. They could have still done something regardless of those funds, but. It just the timing, man. They know that our president in that seat right now is just weak, and everybody's doing everything they can because they know they can get away with it right now.
Yeah, I mean Ukraine. Putin never encroached on Russia, Putin never encroached on Ukraine.
Yeah.
Under Trump.
No.
He did do the Crimea.
Oh yeah, Crimea.
Annexation under Obama. Trump came in, and Putin didn't do anything. Except for negotiation,
yeah,
right?
He said, hold up.
Hold up. Let me actually have a reasonable conversation, right? And then Biden gets in, and then what happens?
What was it, a month later?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was a month after the Afghan pullout, the disastrous Afghan
that's what it was.
Yep. Because Biden's just a weak president.
He is,
and everyone can see it, so Putin's...
Might as well take their shot.
And then watching the presidential debates, the primary debates that are going on, Nikki Haley sitting there saying like, "Oh, we got to fund Ukraine because Russia, we got to weaken Russia and blah blah blah." And I'm just like, what you guys are doing is not weakening Russia. You're actually emboldening them, and you're actually shrinking the power the United States has.
Yeah, man, you're cutting our balls off.
BRICS is a huge economic disaster waiting to happen for the United States. We've lost a lot of economic power because of BRICS.
Yep.
And what led to BRICS?
Ukraine.
By us supporting Ukraine continuously to no end, right? Instead of looking for a peaceful solution. How many?
They said they had it.
Yeah.
A resolution, and then who? What the hell was his name? Our representative or whatever the hell went over there and told them no.
Yeah. The U.S. has, I believe it's 2. I know for a fact one, but I believe it's 2 has squashed peace resolutions between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, I know one for sure.
It's like our politicians want death and destruction going on in Ukraine.
The war machine, man,
it is absolutely horrible. Why do we continue wanting the loss of life?
Because they don't give a shit. They're not the ones on the front line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's 100% true.
Like that shit irritates the fuck out of me.
That actually brings up the other point that you were talking about with me this morning, which is they're wanting to bring back the draft.
Oh yeah.
Well, the draft's always been around, but they want to start using it.
They want us because, with the culture war and everything is my assumption why a lot of things right now people don't want to sign up to the military. So our military does not have the numbers.
Well, yeah, because our military is designed to promote strength and whatnot. But
what are they promoting right now?
But the ads and everything, they're actually talking about inclusivity and all these.
Fuck?
It's like, dude, I was in the military.
Yes, you were.
When you're in the military, when you're fucking around doing all this stuff that you need to do, you don't give 2 shits and a fuck what color they are.
Exactly.
What sexual orientation they are, or whatnot. They are your battle buddies.
Right. You protect the man on the left and the right.
You care about whether or not you have the equipment and the training and everything to get the job done. You could care less about what that personal, because it doesn't matter.
No, man, everybody's in the grinder at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody that you're going through basic training with. I never had the privilege to go to. I ended up a screw up before then, but I did sign up, do the ASVAB test.
I was a screw up after it.
Yeah, I was a screw up before, but
we're all screw ups.
Yeah, but nobody wants to sign up, so they're talking about. I think the one I read was this January. They're gonna start implementing it.
Yeah.
To supply our troops.
Well, it makes sense, right? Isn't Britain now supplying troops into Ukraine, right?
And now this
Xi Jinping is getting more ambitious or more confrontational with Taiwan. I mean,
and the Philippines.
I mean, Southeast Asia is basically being overrun by Chinese propaganda.
Yep.
Africa has all switched basically over to China.
Oh yeah,
being the number one supplier and trade partner, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of things that
are happening.
Weak president has allowed to happen on the global stage.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a globalist. I don't believe the United States has to be involved in each and every
there's
single
no
thing.
reason.
But the United States has presented itself as the world's police, basically, is the way to put it, which is absolutely asinine. Strength and trade. I mean, the Abraham Accords was actually the prime example of this.
Yeah.
Peace through trading and economic power is the way to go, right?
Yeah.
Because the UAE, Saudi Arabia, those were two of the bigger countries that recognized that trade with Israel was actually more profitable than hating because of differences in religion. Which was fantastic. Trump did an amazing job on that. That's one of the very few things that I think Trump deserves a lot of credit for. So since he's been gone, Abraham Accords shut down. We got unrest in the Middle East. We got unrest in Eastern Europe. We got unrest in Asia.
Unrest here in America, man. Open border.
The open border things, right? Which leads us into the next one.
I'm on a roll.
You're doing a great job on transitioning things.
Trying.
Joe Biden went ahead and started building the wall.
You schmuck.
Well, what? So this is what it's the Democratic cities that are, or the Democrat cities that are sanctuary cities that are now getting overrun. I mean, New York was what, $3 billion over the next 5 years or whatever. Just
we talked about that last week,
right? Absolutely insane. They can't handle this stuff.
No,
So now Biden is recognizing that his policies have basically destroyed his voting blocks in these Democrat strongholds, and is now building the wall. So there's nothing that the Democrat Party can run on this next election term other than trying to get all the Republicans labeled as extremist terrorists.
Yeah, they're not doing a good job. Oh, I mean, they're doing a good job, but how? I don't know. Dude, this is so. What did you say earlier? Asinine. It
is asinine. Whoever's writing the simulation is making sure that it's like drama to the max, man.
Well,
ever since I'm telling you, they turned on the Hadron Collider back in 2015 or whatever, 2016 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's like we moved into a different reality.
A new timeline.
Like the reality is now, whatever's the most comical has to happen, right? It's like we're living in a dark comedy reality.
It's the DC comic universe, man.
There we go.
We're in the DC universe.
I don't understand how we're living in such a dark.
I don't get it.
Hilarious time. It makes no sense.
No, dude.
The Hadron Collider must have shifted our reality, because I don't remember it being like this, man. And I got proof. Actually.
Oh, you know what? Shit! You got proof?
I think I got proof. Right. So for the life of me, I have never heard it referred to as car note.
Oh shit! We're going to the Mandela effect.
It's always been car payment. Every time I've had conversations like, I need to make my car payment. I need, whatever. Like, oh yeah, this would be your car payment. But for the last 3 years,
car note.
I got to pay my car note.
I've never heard that.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
So right now.
It's just weird, right? So I was talking to somebody about some a potential customer or whatnot.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, whatever. I started getting the, and then 6 days later, I get an email. Hey, does anyone have any information about this? And it's calling out the exact same one. It's just like the coincidences are getting just more and more happening, and then the way things are phrasing has changed.
It is changed. Either that or we're getting old, man.
Maybe.
But
it's people my age that are saying.
Oh, never mind then.
So it's not even the younger generations.
At least it's good to see that you're not an NPC.
No, I think most people are NPCs.
I think there's a lot of NPCs out there. And so you may have stumbled onto a glitch in the Matrix or something like,
maybe I'm Neo, bro.
Maybe.
Can I start?
Come on,
let's
see. I want to see this shit.
Can I start reading it ones and zeros?
Okay, I can't even read that shit. Oh man, that's not true. I think I know somebody out there knows how to look at that shit and go,
Oh, I see a red. I see a redhead. I see a brunette.
If you're that person, let us know.
Oh God. But yeah, so we're just living in a strange time, man. Yeah, dude. Like we got so much crap happening. We got Biden, who was for illegal immigration, now building the wall. Well, you were also telling me something else about the UN with immigration in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's a video surfacing out there, or floating. Excuse me, not surfacing. Floating out there. It's a young, I'm guessing an African American, or not African American, African gentleman. And he said that he's given this debit card, and the UN was paying him to come to America.
Interesting.
Okay, that raises a couple of little red flags. You know what I mean? Like, why would the UN be sending?
I have an idea on why they would do that. Well, think about it. The European countries right now are also getting overrun with refugees and everything, fleeing
everywhere,
whatever. Right. So it would behoove the UN to try spreading that pain that Europe's seeing by giving debit cards and saying, go to the U.S.
Okay, that makes sense. So on that debit card, they were giving them, I think they said in the video, like 3,000 pesos, because they were in Mexico when they filmed this.
Okay.
3,000 pesos a month.
That's like nothing, dude.
Right. Okay, but it kept them at least fed, I guess, in Mexico. I don't know. And then they were like I said, they were paid that money to come across and go to America. Now, if anybody has like any more information on this, I'm extremely curious to what you guys find. This is just what I saw.
That's only $16.51, bro.
That's fucking horrible. That's
that's 300.
Oh, that is zero.
Yeah, my bad.
$165. Well, you could get some ramen and live off that probably, but oh, shit, man, I keep losing my train of thought today.
But at the same time, it's Mexico, right? So the cost of goods is significantly lower. So 165 actually probably would go a lot farther in Mexico than it would in the US.
But who finances all the money to the UN?
Mostly America.
Exactly. That was one of the things I wanted
to get
at.
Let me clarify that. The American government gives money to the UN, but where does the American government get the money? From you.
Exactly. And that was something I was going to try to bring up. So we're paying for these people to come here, essentially.
We're also paying to house them.
We're
also getting arrested if we have a problem with it.
Yep.
So, I mean,
it's insane, man. Just another way for them to like take more money out of us, and like there's no more money.
Hold on. This ties back into exactly why Matt Gaetz was correct in trying to make the 12 appropriations bill get debated.
Yep. I know we're circling around. If you guys just bear with our rambles, we circle back.
There's lots of reasons why the Congress is powerful. The problem is Congress doesn't want to wield the power, right? Because they're more worried about getting reelected than they are about this. It is also very telling.
Inside stock trade, or
it is also very telling that the lobbyists control most of the politicians. So we need to figure out a way to pull lobbyists away from politicians.
Just need to pick better people. I think somebody with some balls and some character.
Because there's a lot of people that I think go to Washington with that mindset, but then as soon as they get in there, they realize that they have to compromise on some things just to try getting some things done for the community.
Okay, that might be how it starts, but then you get those people like Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Or
Nancy.
I'm just saying, they say, okay, there's a way to profit in here. Public service is.
There's a prime way. So let's say that me and you are in Congress, right? And we want to buy stock in Tesla.
Yeah.
But then we put out there that, hey, we're going to have a vote on electric vehicles that are going to be like banning certain things, and it's going to make the stock price dip. That comes out. Stock prices start to dip. We buy in. And then the freaking vote happens. Oh, never mind. It didn't happen. Stock prices go back up. Bam. Look at how much money we
Exactly.
Right?
It's crooked, man.
They have the ability to control stock prices. They should not have.
Who was it that came up with that new bill? I think it was
AOC and
AOC,
Gates.
Yeah.
I think it was AOC and Gates.
I will give her props for that one.
Yeah, she like I don't fully support her on everything, but she does do good things. But think about it this way, dude. So if you're like a CEO or if you're on a board of directors or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have certain things that you can and cannot do when it comes to stocks.
Yeah.
You have a certain time period where you can't do any investing, right? Or purchases or sales or anything like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense because you have knowledge of things coming to play that give you an inherent advantage
over everybody else,
over the rest of the market, right?
Yeah.
Congress has the same thing. Yet Congress sits there, Nancy Pelosi sits there and says, well, we have, I'm an American citizen. I have the right to operate in this stock market the same as anyone else. Well, that's not true because there are other people who cannot operate that way on certain stocks because of the knowledge that they have.
Yeah.
You guys have plenty of knowledge. You guys are gaming the systems.
Exactly. Right? You're rigging that shit, man.
So it's dumb. It's just absolutely dumb how these Congress people think. They want the power, right?
Yeah.
So I've been rewatching Blue Bloods.
Oh, okay.
So check out Blue Bloods. It's actually pretty good. But so I just got done with an episode actually where the police commissioner is sitting there talking to Reverend Potter, I think his name is.
Okay.
Yeah, Reverend Potter. He's actually a really interesting character. But he's actually trying to convince the police commissioner that, hey, I'll give you access to these witnesses if you give me access to a civilian oversight position inside your training academy.
You got to pay to play, huh?
And the commissioner is basically like, I can't do that. He's just like, so the reverend is sitting there saying, like, you want your power so much you won't even hold on to it. And the police commissioner looks right back at him and says, I have no power. The office does, and that's not mine to give up. And I'm just like, that's powerful because that's exactly what all these political positions are. These people are not powerful. It's the positions that they hold are powerful, and they don't care about using and abusing and dissolving that power.
And that's what I'm saying. If we could just get some good people in there that thought like that example, dude, we would be so much better. But we can't. It's almost like the fucking soul of this country is just corrupted down to the core. You know what I mean? And that's sad. Not everybody. Don't get it twisted. Not saying all of you, but the people that are leading this country, man, there's like hardly any of them that are worth a damn. And we need to start over.
Yeah, we do need a new political. And
I'm nobody. You know what I mean? I'm just a simple petty civilian in this bitch. But I can see it.
What's that? I think we've talked about this before. Is it demarchy? Demarchy? Is that the term?
Demarchy?
Yeah, if you guys know, I'm going to explain what it is. And you guys could tell me if I'm right or wrong or what the actual... But basically, so you know how like jury duty, you get selected for jury duty and you have to go and appear and blah, blah, blah. You serve duty, right? So why can't we do that with Congress, right? So
something similar?
So like, you get like a 6-month term where you basically put in a random lottery, your number gets pulled, you have to go to Washington and vote on all these things. You have to put your life on hold, right? So you're sacrificing your life. You get a 6-month block. You have to go do it. But now you're answerable. So like, let's say you get selected. You go out to Washington and you vote to do something that I don't like. I can call you on it.
Let's do it. I'm down with that. That's a good idea.
It's not a bad idea.
No.
But
obviously, I think there should be some qualifications in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to at least have a GED or something.
Why do you need a GED?
What, your general education?
Yeah. Why do you need a GED?
No. Continue with what you're saying.
My stance is this. Is if you feel that people need a GED to be successful, I think we're in a world of hurt.
I was just giving a joke and an example. I think there should be some qualifications into being able to run stuff. You know what I mean? It's like having your certification for your forklift. I know that you're competent enough to...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess my stance is this with education, right? We've talked about this. I have a master's.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think a master's makes me above anyone else. I know people that have only a high school education that are just as successful, if not more successful than I am, right? I know of people that don't have any education that can still do this. My thought is we need to get away from framing that if you don't have any formal education that you're not capable of doing things. That's kind of why I was questioning, like, why do you need a GED? But
I think there should be, like I said, something that shows that you're competent enough to do. Because I don't want, somebody who, no disrespect, you know what I mean? Somebody who can't speak English to go in there, who's a U.S. citizen, and try to run things. And that's a horrible example, too.
Okay.
Like, I'll go back to my forklift. I want somebody who at least knows how to drive the vehicle.
Okay. I don't
able to do it. That's the best example I can come up with right now.
That works for me. Sorry, I'm just checking out.
No, you're fine. Because even you know what, I take back that comment about somebody who can't even speak English. I take that back because there's some of those people that come across that are really intelligent, but I want the U.S. to govern the U.S.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I don't disagree with that.
So,
well, the U.S. How to say it?
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
The people that are fleeing countries that are in war and whatnot, actual true refugees.
Yes, refugees.
Or people that can afford to move over here, they're typically the ones that are in the higher echelon of that country.
Mm-hmm.
So in some ways, I appreciate them coming over here because they're adding value into the United States and culture.
Mm-hmm.
The issue I have with it, though, is by them leaving, that just leaves a vacant spot in theirs where they're not having these people that actually could help their own country out.
Yep.
Right? That's not saying I don't want them here, but
they do better there.
It's kind of one of those things where, like, if you stay there, you have the ability to help your country become better. Mm-hmm. With you leaving, you take that extra ability away, and does that mean your country is going to continue on its path? Right?
Yeah, I see what you're
saying. I'm not trying to bash them for wanting to be here. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just trying to look at it holistically and saying, like, that's great that you're coming here to make a better life for yourself. Mm-hmm. What happens to the rest of your countrymen that you're leaving behind?
Yeah, you're taking that quality out of your country and adding it to ours.
Right?
Yeah. Which, like I said, that's your decision.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Because I think that's part of the problem with our foreign affairs as the United States is. Our foreign affairs being that we view ourselves, the military-industrial complex views ourselves as the world police. And we're trying to take care, and we continue to think that everyone in the world wants to be like the United States. That's not true.
No.
There are cultural differences. Not everyone has the same frameworks and moralities and everything that the United States does, right?
Yeah.
So we need to stop trying to push our ideas on other people.
Yeah.
Under the force of a gun,
right.
and actually take our ideas and just put them out there. And if people want to adopt them, and we can change culture through assimilation versus that's great. But at the same time, we need to be respectful of, if they don't like our thought processes, we need to not try to enforce them.
I completely agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I understand exactly what you're trying to say.
Right.
And that's literally what I was trying to convey too. I just, like you said, you're more articulate than I am.
Yeah. Because let's take Brazil. Do you think Brazil wants to be the United States? No, probably not. Panama, probably not. Right. So South America has a strong, rich cultural identity that is actually wonderful and beautiful.
It is.
So why would they want to give that up to become us?
American.
Like, so let's stop trying to force them to do that. Let's just open negotiations with the idea of being open-minded and friendly with them, so that way we can do trade, and that way they can benefit and we can benefit.
Yeah.
And if there's some crossover, perfect.
Earn something.
Yeah. The United States is kind of a
bully.
Well, yeah, the military-industrial complex is definitely a bully in the world.
Yeah.
But the United States is a weird, interesting project, is where I was going, actually, because we are the only country that I can really think of that actually has no historical culture per se. We are a mishmash of everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have
the melting pot is what they used to call it.
Yeah, the melting pot. I mean, we have indigenous people that have a rich, beautiful culture that has been embodied.
That's actually cool. Yeah.
Right. We have Latinos that have brought in. I mean, I think this is actually maybe 3 months old.
What?
The number one choice of entree is
Mexican food.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knew?
All right.
But we have an African culture that has been brought in. Now, there's some historical background that's a little bit iffy. I shouldn't say a little bit iffy. That's pretty iffy. But we also have another African culture brought over, which is from those that are actually coming post slavery, right? So we have we have European descent, we have Eastern European descent, we have Asian descent. I mean, we have such a diverse, different thing, and it used to be that was our
one of our biggest strengths,
because everyone that was coming here had the same framework of we want to do whatever we can to be prosperous, and that was the underlining framework that held everything together. And the culture war left is doing a wonderful job at destroying that framework. So now we no longer view everything under the same moral stances, right? If you're doing better, it's because you've ripped or done something.
Yeah,
or
you
hurt
cheated
someone.
somebody.
You did something wrong. It didn't matter that you did it. You made a product that someone wanted, and people bought it, and you became rich. No, you took advantage of someone.
Which is a crock of shit.
It is. So there's all this stuff ties together in some way, shape, or form. We have a lot of moving parts in our world. The American politics is fascinating, but at the same time, it's a freaking joke.
It's a nightmare sometimes.
We have an inept Congress. We have an inept Senate. We have an inept president. And even our Supreme Court is somewhat inept. Right? So it is very interesting that like half the country views our Supreme Court justices as activist judges, and the other half also views it activist judges, but completely different reasonings why, right?
Yeah.
So like the left views the right judges, the judges that are more conservative, as being activists against like certain ideas, right?
Yeah.
And the right views them as being like what's that one that couldn't even define what a woman was? I can't even remember her name. She was horrible. I couldn't believe that. Oh my god. But yeah,
I mean, it was that one African American lady, huh?
I think
the black lady.
Yeah.
She started trying to get into
Ketanji Green. Is that her name?
Is that her name?
I think so. Maybe.
I think you're right.
Correct us if we're wrong. I can't remember her name. But yeah, it's just. I mean, every level of our institutions is basically become a joke. I don't know how else to.
Nobody can seem to get along or work together on hardly anything nowadays.
If you compromise with the other side, you're giving in.
I mean,
that used to be what it was about. If you wanted to have Chinese for dinner and I wanted steak, we would come together and be like, "Oh, we're settling on carne asada." That's a great choice. See, look at that. You're right. That's how it used to be. We'd come together and talk about it. We would
figure shit out, man,
and come to a reasonable compromise. Like, hey, I kind of want rice and chicken, and I want steak. Okay, well, hey, carne asada is a great one because I get my rice and I get my and I get my steak. Right? Bam.
Nobody wants to be there for their fellow man.
No,
everybody's so divided, and it's so. It just seems like it's intentional.
I agree.
You know, and that shit really. I hate seeing that stuff going on in our country because, like, what are we leaving for our kids? I have kids. You have kids. What are we What are we teaching them? What are we leaving for them? If we continue down the path that we're going, we're not going to leave them a goddamn thing. Excuse my language. And that shit keeps me up at night sometimes.
Fair. Doesn't keep me up.
I know it don't.
Oh, I guess a piece of advice: things beyond your control you should not allow to affect you. Right?
Yeah, I shouldn't rent space. I know.
Yeah. So I'm learning these terms, dude.
What?
Living rent free.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Interesting, but yeah.
What do you do?
Did we hit all the topics?
I think we hit all the topics.
We talked about the border wall with Joe Biden. We talked about Israel. We got the draft coming back into play.
Yeah, we talked about Michigan.
We talked about Michigan. We talked about the Trump stuff. We talked about McCarthy. We talked about Gates.
I think we nailed it.
I think we did.
I think that's a wrap.
Maybe. Xi Jinping. Do we have anything on that guy? Other than the fact that he's expanding his influence in Southeast Asia?
He's short.
That's where you're going.
I got nothing on that one right now.
Flawless victory. Excellent.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here like Goku. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.